Hello, everyone. Welcome to the AuthorHood podcast. Hope things are beautiful at everyone's end. By Meee is a poet who beautifully captures the universality of human emotions through their work. Writing under this unique pen name, the poet emphasizes that feelings transcend gender. Every emotion, from joy to sorrow, love to despair, belongs to all. Their books, The Melody of Life and The Melody Lies in Between, weave poetry that resonates deeply, reminding readers that emotions are not biased. By Mee's verses echo the shared experiences of the heart, making every reader feel seen, understood, and connected. Hello, wonderful poet. Thank you for gracing our show. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me there.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure to have you.
It's an honor.
So, how will you best introduce yourself to the listeners?
I'm a writer and I write poetry and poems and lyrics. But in my day life, I work daily in a factory because the COVID came, but it's not my profession. My profession is actually a chef, totally different, but yeah. And in between that, I try to write as much as I can. I have 2 kids, so the time is a little bit short. And yeah, I try to do my best. And of course, I love writing, but actually I never read. So try to find my ideas from the daily life, my emotions, and maybe music I listen to sometimes. And yeah, people I talk to.
Wow. Now, you choose the pen name By Meee. I guess that is to remain unbiased to the feelings of the human world, yes?
Yeah.
So, emphasizing the gender neutral nature of emotions, how did this decision shape your approach to writing, and why is it important to you to separate your identity from your work?
I like to write when you're a reader, you can see yourself in my poets. So you don't think about it's a man or a woman who write, but easier for themselves to see if you're a man or a woman, and I don't know what the reader is. So yeah, feelings is like universals, like you said. So it's not based on gender, but how you feel. And people like men and women, they have the same feelings, but sometimes you define the feelings because you're a man or because you're a woman. So that's why I try to write without using any gender. Also, in my poets, I don't write he or she, I just write you or me, something like that.
Wonderful. So, in your view, emotions are when they're universal and gender neutral. How do you think this perspective influences how people connect with poetry, especially when it comes to themes like love, pain, or joy?
I hope that the readers, the listeners, they might see, oh, this is me. It's talking to me because this is how I feel, not like someone else, the voice or the writer is feeling, but this is me because it's exactly how I feel right now. And sometimes it can be hard for all people to find out what they're feeling or thinking. And then they write something or listen to something and it's just, oh, that's how I feel. I couldn't find the words for what I feel, but this is how I feel. And maybe sometimes they can see, you ask me how I feel, try to read this or try to listen to this. This is how I feel.
Amazing again. So, your 2 poetry books, Melody of Life and The Melody Lies in Between, they seem to explore deep emotional themes. Can you share how the central idea of emotion as the foundation of human existence is woven into each of these collections?
I think The melody of life I've been writing for. Actually, I started to write this book. I didn't start to write a book. I started actually to write lyrics for a long time ago. And then my family and friends said, "Oh, try to put it together into a book." So I took all the lyrics I have, find those I like the most, and made them into poem and put it into this book. So it's not maybe in the melody of life is a little bit more, but rhymes where the melody life between is based on feelings of later, how I feel, what I'm thinking.
It's more of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, both of them is out for right from experience and feelings like I had.
Okay, so like from lyrics to poems, which do you think is more complex? Like writing the lyrics to a song or writing words to some feeling? Which one is more complicated, according to you?
I think maybe writing to feelings because you try to write what you feel, but sometimes you cannot find the words how you feel and how to express them properly. And if you write something, you read it and say, it's not like that. I have to rewrite that again. According to if you write lyrics, it's maybe a little bit easier because you put the music on, and then with the music on, it just goes like that way.
Understood. So, in Melody of Life, what specific life experiences or moments inspired you to capture the melody?
The melody, I think maybe because half of the book is like lyrics, so I thought about maybe the melody of life because it's like the melody is a part of life. You always have something else, and you listen to music, and yeah, it has an emotion going up and down.
Yeah. So, the melody lies in between. It suggests a deeper reflection on the space between emotions. Do I say that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what does the melody in between represents for you, and how does it relate to the very sensitive and very complex nature of human feelings?
You have some feelings, but it lies in between. One day you're happy, another day you're sad. But it's hard for you to tell because you have this world we live in now. They have some other expectations. Like if someone asks you, how are you doing? They expect you to write, I'm fine, thanks. But sometimes you're not fine. And sometimes you're sad or in pain or something, but you cannot say it because they have this expectation that you just have to say you're fine. It's like, yeah.
Maybe what exactly one feels and how it's not an easy thing to explain. And also, at times, we're like, maybe the other person wouldn't understand how I feel. So it's better I say I'm okay.
Yeah, exactly. And if you start to say, actually, I'm sad today, or I'm depressed or something, many people be afraid that the other one just will start, oh, no, okay, I'm going over
So,
here and talk to someone else. And I don't want to have anything to do with you because you're not fine. I need to talk with someone that's fine. And, we have to always keep up a smile.
True.
Even when we can, or try to.
That's very well put. So, do you find yourself drawing more from personal experiences, or is it more from the observation of the world around you when it's about writing poetry? Since we just talked about, the covers that people use for how they feel. So, what is it like for you?
I think I like to write from personal experience. Of course, also if I observe something from the world, see how it's going, or see someone else have an issues, or try. But mostly, I try to write from how I feel and my own experience from the daily life. I try to not to write like with the politics or too much around like you ask what happened in the world, because right now we have so much. So some people get angry if you talk right about that, or angry about if you write about that. So maybe it's just easier to write about what you feel or have this personal experience.
Oh, that's so true said.
Yeah.
Okay. So now your poetry often speaks to feelings and emotions rather than stories or characters. I mean, the poems in both the books, they are a direct conversation to how one is feeling and what emotions one is going through. So, how have you managed with crafting your poems to convey these deep emotions without relying on narrative structures or personas?
Yeah, it's been a little bit difficult, but yeah, I have to write mostly I and you, and maybe and also sometimes us, but not like he or she or them or
Hmm.
they. Mostly because it is a personal things, and it is for like I said earlier, that it's for people to see themselves and see how they are feeling.
Hmm.
So I want to try to make it a little bit more personal.
Hmm. So, when writing poems that explore intense emotions, do you find it difficult to detach from those feelings, or do you allow yourself to fully immerse in them during the writing process?
Hmm. I think I want to try to do it somewhere in between.
Okay.
So I try to use some of morphine, but also maybe not too much. So I have to again try to separate myself a little bit, but again use a little bit of myself to
Hmm.
make it personal, but not too much personal. So it's a little bit difficult to find a balance in between this, the feelings for myself and feelings from used to try to for others, and how can I say it?
Well said. So, emotions, they are often seen as personal or individual. Putting it plain, they are always seen as someone's personal someone's personal feel. Yet you have emphasized on their universality. Now, I would love to know, how difficult was it for you to find the balance between personal experience and the universal truth in your poetry?
It was a little bit difficult because again I have to use my own experience, but also have to take a look from what happened outside, see from maybe from some friends, some people you meet, talk with, and use this into one poem. And can be difficult to write exactly how I feel and again how they're feeling at the same time in one poem. So I try to write it so truthfully I can,
Hmm.
but all the time I also have to put in some extra words, or maybe some, maybe not how I feel, but maybe some other feels, or
Someone
I
else
think some
feels.
else. Yeah, I think
Hmm.
someone else will feel, but never not 100% sure. But and then I write it and maybe give it to my wife, ask her, what do you
Hmm.
think? Is this something you feel or someone else feel? And she says sometimes yes, and sometimes she says no. So sometimes I have to ask someone else to rewrite this before I use it into maybe one of my books or one of my posts. So, but at least I try to be honest or
Hmm.
truthful as much as I can.
Yeah, at least honest with whatever you have felt all through and whatever your emotions have been. Yes,
Yeah.
perfect. So now, as someone who has utmost regards to the neutrality of emotions, did you ever find your work being received with gendered interpretations?
I think it's been difficult for some people or some readers to find out if I'm a man or if I'm a woman.
Huh.
So a lot of have been writing miss. Also, it took a while before I said yes to this broadcast
Hmm.
because again, then I have to come out as a man. I think
Hmm.
I am for sure. But before that, a lot of people write Miss and Mrs. and
Hmm.
many people thought I was a woman.
Because mostly feelings and emotions, they are actually female-centered stuff. Anything written on feelings and emotions, people are supposed to think of it as coming from a female
Yeah,
pen.
yeah, you're right. And like you said, I think that's why a lot have been writing Miss and the
Hmm.
Miss. But again, like I said earlier, emotion and feelings is
Hmm.
not just for women, but also for men. But of course, it's been a little more, maybe I could say taboo
Hmm.
for men to express themselves
Hmm.
because they have this expectation. Because a man always has to say, "Yes, I'm fine, I'm good, nothing's wrong,
Hmm.
I'm happy, I'm smiling," and that they just have to hide their emotions no matter what.
No matter what. Very well said, sir. Very well said. Like, with that explained, sir, how have you walked through that challenge all through?
Mm. Well, I like writing, and of course, I have some experience from earlier, and I like to maybe, because when I started this, I want to help other people
Hmm.
to find their own emotion and their feelings. And for some people, it can be hard. And
Hmm.
that's why I wrote these two books. And
Hmm.
also, I have been writing a lot of Instagram and Facebook.
Hmm.
And just for people to see and read, and maybe one could say, "Oh, this is how I feel,"
Hmm.
and maybe help them through a difficult situation or time. So I think that's why I started writing, and that's what I'm keep going.
Amazing. And all the very best with that. You must keep going on.
Thanks. Yeah,
Okay.
I will.
um, your poetry, it's speaking for those who feel left behind or silenced. Now, every poem that you have written so far, it does that.
Yes.
Now, how is that understanding balancing with what you experience every day? I mean, to write for the voices who are not able to vent themselves, and also, how did you make sure that your words are giving them a sense of validation and recognition?
Yeah, these are good questions. Um,
Thanks, sir.
I think I just try to read because some people are very quiet, and some of the most quiet people is those people having maybe the hardest time, and that's why they keep quiet and keep
Hmm.
them for themselves. Also because, for example, they don't know how to express their feeling. They don't know how to say how they
Hmm.
feel, and they sometimes use the music, listen to a song or musicians, or sometimes they read a book or poetry
Hmm.
to find themselves and find their emotion and find themselves. Because right now we live, like I said earlier, we live in a world where we have to be in a certain way.
Hmm.
And
We are conditioned and bound to live in a particular way that is suitable with the society's perspective. Yes.
yeah, and
Hmm.
that can make some people feel
Hmm.
left behind or silent
Hmm.
because they're not fitting into this puzzle. They're not part of the society in the way they want it to be.
Hmm.
And that's why it's maybe easier just to keep quiet, keep them for themselves,
Hmm.
or maybe talk, smile. But
Hmm.
again, it's not 100% themselves,
True.
but they are just acting to fit in. And that's why I try to write these books and write these poetries and poems. Give them this recognition and tell them, hey, you're not alone.
Hmm.
there's other people like you feeling this way or this way. Just speak up and be a part of all the other people who's not feeling welcome into this part of what can I say.
Very nice response.
Thank you.
Yeah. Another question, sir. Where did you get this idea of maybe dreams or romance? I mean, what exactly do you aim at putting forward with your thought process?
I think maybe I've always been, like a dreamer, Always like to have a dream and try to pursue that dream. Also because I have this, what can I say, this idea that if you don't have a dream, you don't have something else to aim for. And without a target, you don't know where you're going. So that's why I try to also, in both of my books, I try to use these dreams, like this target for the future, for the feelings you have. It can be everything. It can be work. It can be the love you have. So, yeah, a little bit hard to explain, but
Hard to explain, hard to put in words, but
also back in my book it says, "Dreaming the dream is a dreamer, but living the dream is a believer."
wow.
And this is one of my ideas. Yeah, I try to write from.
This is your go-to statement, yes?
Yeah,
Wow.
kinda. Yeah, thanks.
Amazing. So, in The Melody Lies in Between, you explore the concept of masquerade. Now, since you're writing into short stories, how does this theme of masquerading or hiding one's true self show up in the lives of your characters or maybe in the emotional landscapes of your poems?
The melody of life and using this the masquerade. Yeah, what can I say? It's like looking in a mirror to see yourself, but in a different way that other sees you. So trying to fit yourself in is you're trying to be someone else, hide yourself, how you like, how you want to be, your thoughts, your feelings, and it's coming out in my poems like want to try to say it's okay to be yourself and try to be yourself no matter what others says.
Now, taking that in concern, writing under a pen name is a kind of a mask in itself.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So, how has this masquerading been to you?
For a long time, I didn't really show my works for everyone. So I've been writing a lot, but only like friends and some families have seen and read what I've been reading. And I think when I came out with the first book, The Melody of Life, I actually start to showing other people what I've been writing, that I'm also write.
Okay.
Even people now don't know that I write, so still a little bit hiding myself. So
sounds you have become super comfortable with hiding your identity.
Yeah, at the moment it's a little bit fun to hide myself because nobody knows, and if you try to tell someone, oh, try to read this, and we don't know, we haven't told them it's me who write it, they said, it's okay, it's good, yeah, who write it, and we don't say, this poet by me, but we don't say it's me. If it makes sense.
Amazing. Okay. So, how does your creative process differ when writing poetry versus writing short stories? And also, you're writing into quotes. So, like, how's the process different? And like, do you find one form more natural to express certain emotions, or Do they each serve a different purpose in a writing?
It's different, all three of them, because if you write a quote, it's like a short, but it just sometimes just come and just write it down. And if I write a quote, I try to take this quote or something else, make it a little bit longer, but short story is a little bit fun because it's like a story you try to write down when you maybe talk with yourself, like I have in my last book, The Middle Lies in Between. I have two short stories. The one is with a sheep, and the other one is with a bee, when they're kind of talking, So it's a little bit fun in that way. But short stories is like maybe having a point and express, but yeah, it's a little bit deeper sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which form do you find more natural to express what you actually want to?
I think just writing in itself is like expressing. It just one day I maybe feel for poet, and the other day more for a crow, and maybe third day is short stories,
Short
something.
stories, yes. Okay.
Short stories or lyrics or something. So it's all how my mood is and what I feel and think.
Very fair. Now, there's another concept in your writing, which is the concept of feeling left behind or on the sidelines. Now, this is a recurring theme in your poetry. What do you think it means to be on the sidelines of life, and how does that feeling shape the individuals who experience it?
I think being on the sideline is again like you want to be yourself, but you also feel like you have to be in a certain way. So you hide yourself trying to go around and smile and do things like other people expecting you to do, but yourself is maybe want to go a third way. One maybe want to go out and be a musician, be a writer, maybe an actor, but other people say, you cannot go that way. You have to just get an ordinary job, maybe work in a factory or a store or something, have an education, go to high school. But what you feel is like, I don't want to do that. I want to go what I feel, what I dream. So you put in a sideway and you just have to be like what other people expect. And sometimes you have been hiding yourself for so long that sometimes forgot what you want and where you actually want to go, because you just have been follow the stream for so long.
And when suppressing what one wants to be and how one wants to be, I guess the personality that eventually comes out isn't an easy take on life. Also, it's suffocating.
Yeah, it can be exhausting and suffocating. And for example, I got this education as to be a chef, but I took this education because I had to have something to work on. But I mostly like writing, and so I started writing lyrics, but I forgot the music, even that I have been for so long. But because I've been a little bit shy, and I forgot to put the music on. So, but I found it more fun to actually just write lyric poems and quotes, short stories, like sometimes. So now I try to go my own way and say, maybe I not want to be a musician, maybe I just want to be a writer instead. Always said that if I want to be like a musician or something, I just want to be the writer, and write for someone else. So
that wasn't just an example, that was an experience.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Now, your poetry, it suggests that emotions are the most important element of human existence. How do you think emotions impact the way we make decisions, build relationships, and also understand ourselves?
I think that emotion is very important for us because no matter what, if you're a man or woman, boy, girl, we all have emotion. We are happy, we are sad, we laugh, we cry. And if we don't follow our own emotion, what are we? I mean, if you don't have emotion, we don't feel, we don't do. We just like kind of robots just walking around, smile, talk, whatever. So yeah, I think emotion important. Also, like I think dreams is important. It's kind of going hand in hand. So if you have emotion, you have dreams. I think it will be fine.
True that.
Yeah.
Okay, now since we have talked a lot about emotions and feelings here, what message or emotion do you hope sticks with readers after they finish your books? And particularly those who may identify with the idea of being left behind or on the sideline.
Yeah, I would say like about life. It's like I would say life is like a long road without knowing where it's going. But when you stop up and look back, there will be things you will understand why.
The dots there seem to be connecting themselves. Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't know where is in front of you, but sometimes obstacles, there will be things happen. You have to choose between two roads. But when you coming ahead and you just stop up and look back, you will understand why some of the things happen, and you can see, if I had been that way, I wouldn't have been here today.
Very true. Very, very true. So, is there any piece of advice you would want to give to the writers who are inspired by the universal nature of emotions?
We'll say, write what you're thinking, write what you feel, not what you think. So when you start writing and you look down and says, it's not right, just keep writing anyways, because if you start to think too much over what you're writing, you will stop. So just write what you feel, I would say. Yeah.
Great. So that has been a very, very wonderful conversation.
Thank you.
To conclude this, what would be that one bonus statement that would go from you to the listeners and the readers?
That sometimes life can be hard, but there's a light ahead, no matter what.
No matter what.
No matter what.
Yes, it's just about keep on going. Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Amazing. Though the interaction was really, really quick and short, but it was worth it. Thank you very, very, very much, sir.
Thank you, you too.
All the very best for all the future stories and poems and quotes. Best wishes.
Thank you, and we'll see if we talk again.
Oh, that would be a pleasure, sir. That would be a pleasure. Thank you very, very much, sir.
Thank you.